I'm working on this 57 Bolens. Last time I got the engine to spark and found out the fuel pump was bad and bypassed it. The fuel tank's above the carburetor on this tractor, so you don't need a pump. Next I'm going to wire up the kill button. This is the wire I connected to the points. I want to leave some extra wire so the next time the flywheel gets removed, the wire can be moved to under the flywheel where it belongs. I'm going to wrap the wire around the steering post because that's the way it is on that mostly original 57 I've been showing. That looks okay, especially if I run it under the throttle there. I think I'll leave it about like that. I'm working on a couple things at once here. I started on this because I knew I'd have to wait for the paint to dry. This is an original Kohler fuel pump hole cover plate. I don't have any extras to put on this engine, so I made one. I cut it out with cutoff wheels, shaped the edges on a bench grinder, and drilled the holes. It's a little bigger than the original, but it looks okay and should work good. I painted it with primer already, and I'm going to paint it black because I don't have any green like what's on the tractor. If this screw was longer, I could clean it and add my terminal and a nut on top. But in this case, I'm going to put my terminal under that existing nut and lock washer. I'm putting the terminal over the flat washer because I want that flat washer against the plastic insulator. It's not going to work if the screw behind the button touches on paint, so I'm going to scrape the paint away where the screw touches. Here's the bent up dipstick. I'm just going to start at this one end and bend it back. I made these pliers for some kind of project in the past. They're nice and wide, but not too wide to fit between these bends. I'm not going to try to straighten the handle part, but I want the cap and stopper to be square with the stick so it seals good on the tube. The stick looks good now, but I don't like the way it fits in the tube. There's a lip on this rubber stopper that fits the inside of the tube, and when you push it the rest of the way in, it should go until the metal cap stops it on top of the tube. But on this tube, you can see that first diameter don't go down in there very far. Then there's a ledge there where the hole gets smaller. So when you push the stick in, the rubber stopper stops on that ledge before the metal cap gets to the top of the tube. And you can see the cap's not getting close to resting on top of the tube like it should. Luckily, this engine block has a fill level plug. The proper oil level is when it starts running out this plug hole here. If this was the correct dipstick, the full line should line up with the bottom of that fill level plug. This one's close, but looks about a 1/4 inch off. So the bottom line here is I'm going to ignore the dipstick and use the fill level plug to determine the proper oil level. The paint's dry on the fuel pump cover, so I'm going to take this pump off here. It looks like the gasket's still good. I'm going to wipe it off and use it. I think I'm ready to try to start it, so I need to put the muffler on. There's already some gas in here, so I'm going to turn on the valve and pressurize the fuel system. Just like I usually do, I'm going to turn on the choke, then raise the throttle until the carburetor lever just gets to the full throttle position. I'm blocking the front wheels. You can't tell, but it's downhill a little bit here. Nothing happening yet. I'm going to set the throttle to idle and open the choke. Hey, look at that, the choke's already open. That's right, this is an old style one where down is run instead of choke, so I had it in the wrong place. Okay, I'm going to put it back like I thought I had it to start with. Raise the throttle till the carb lever just gets to full throttle, and put the choke on. Feels like the governor's not working. Yeah, even if I throttle down, it don't get to idle. But I can push back on the carburetor lever here. Now listen to that, it runs perfectly. Alright, I'm gonna kill it. Well, the kill switch don't work. Okay, I'll just block off the carb then. I'm gonna take this kill switch apart. I'll clean it before it goes back together. Probably replace this screw too. The slot's rounded out. If I can kill the engine next time by grounding out this wire, that proves the problem's in the button. I'm going to experiment with a few things and make sure I think it's a governor problem. I'm going to set the throttle lever to push the carb linkage back to idle position. Normally I expect the governor to do that. This is where I expect the governor to reduce the speed. That's not happening. Well, let's see if the kill switch wire works. Alright, that proves the wiring's good. Just gotta fix the switch. I'm going to start it again and see how well I can control it with the throttle lever. When I turn it down, it won't stay running without the choke on. So I'm going to mess with the fuel mixture screws. Well, that's better, but if I give it some throttle, it speeds up too quickly, like it's too sensitive. The governor's at least working partly, because it's limiting the top speed, but it goes a little higher than I like. Everything I'm complaining about has something to do with the governor. So I'm going to take it apart and check a few things. It's possible I didn't get it adjusted right. I already got the fuel tank off, so I'm going to take this arm off of here. You can see I have the linkage in the lower hole here, so that's something I might change. Now I'm going to move the throttle up some to get clearance around the brass nut for the wrench to fit. This is not a Kohler recommended procedure, but I know this shaft can be in the wrong orientation. So I pull it out some and find the spot where I can rotate it about 90 degrees back and forth. I rotate it to the limit clockwise and push it back into position. That felt like it was already in the right spot, so I didn't change anything there, and I'll put it back together. And the shaft is free to move as it should be. Well, that shaft seemed like it was already in the right position, so I didn't change anything yet. I'm going to put this linkage in the top hole. So you could say that's the only change I made. And here we go with the governor arm adjustment again. Make sure the spring's in the little slot down there. Make sure there's a little gap behind your arm. I'm going to move the throttle to a different position so I don't have to fight the spring. Push down with the top wrench while you rotate the shaft counterclockwise. And tighten the nut. I got the fuel tank back on, so I'm going to start it and see if that made a difference. Well, that sounds better already. The governor slowed it down when it started. It's got a rattle to it. I'm pretty sure that's in the muffler. I don't see anything else that would be rattling. Yeah, that seems pretty normal now. So moving that linkage to the top hole made the difference on this one. Alright, that's pretty good. Still need to fix the kill switch now. Here's all the kill switch parts. That screw's got the slot wallered out. Got one to replace it there. These washers are plastic insulators. They have little nubs there that go into the oversized hole so the screw don't touch the frame. This button shouldn't turn on there. It needs to be tight to make electrical contact. There's dirt buildup or something under the head there. That looks like a nail maybe. I expected it to be a screw. Maybe it'll pry off easy. Well, it's in there pretty good. I'm gonna pick at it for a bit. There's more stuff from under the head. Okay, since I can't get it apart easy, I'll see if I can mash it in tight. Well, that's tight on there. I'll have to check it with a meter. I can check the meter by touching the edge of the metal strip. That's when I get it to beep. And when I touch the nail head there, it don't beep. So that's not working. Okay, I need to get this apart then. I can't turn it. Maybe I can pry it out. So that's a drive rivet, like you would use to hold a nameplate on a machine. The smallest screws I could find around here are this sheet metal screw, which is too long, and this 632 machine screw. I'm going to see if I can thread this material with a tap and use that machine screw. I touched this on the belt sander to make it flat, and I ran this tap in there a little bit. That looks like it might work. I'm going to scrape on this to get a good electrical contact. That feels like it'll tighten up good. I'm going to check it with a meter. Wait, I don't have a good connection on this end. That works better there. Okay, I'm going to use a new screw and match up the paint marks when it goes back together. I want to rotate that plastic washer so the paint marks line up where they used to be. Okay, let's see if it works. This is the first time I've started it today, so it's not warmed up yet. There you go, that works now. Well, that's as far as I'm going this time, and here's what it looks like. The engine starts, runs, and stops nicely. Next time I'll put the stuff together on this side and work on getting it to move under its own power. Alright, that's it.